In European football, a few legendary clubs have etched their names into history from unexpected places. Dinamo Tbilisi from Georgia is one of those rare clubs. A team that rose to prominence during the Soviet era, managed to conquer Europe, and then faced the challenges of a new world when the Soviet Union dissolved. Today, we're looking into the extraordinary rise, the European triumphs, and the lasting legacy of Dinamo Tbilisi. Dinamo Tbilisi was founded in 1925 in Georgia's capital, Tbilisi, when the region was part of the Soviet Union. As the club grew, it began to show potential in the Soviet Top League, a highly competitive environment where teams from across the USSR fought for dominance. Dinamo quickly became known for their distinct attacking style, often led by Georgian players with exceptional technical skill. This attacking flair would become the hallmark of Dinamo Tbilisi, attracting a passionate fan base throughout the region. Dinamo Tbilisi's first major breakthrough came in 1964, when they clinched their first Soviet Top League title. The team even went unbeaten in the last 15 matches of the season, and in the end, Dinamo was tied with Torpedo Moscow at the top. An additional match in Tashkent, Uzbekistan had to be played, which Dinamo won 4-1. This victory was monumental, not just because it put Tbilisi on the map as a football city, but because it allowed the club to stand out as the pride of Georgian football. With a mix of talented local players and a determined squad, Dinamo Tbilisi became a competitive force within the Soviet Union, breaking the dominance of Russian teams that had historically controlled the league. Through the 1970s, Dinamo Tbilisi continued to grow stronger, building a reputation as a team capable of standing toe-to-toe with some of the Soviet Union's best. Under the leadership of manager Nodar Akalkatsi, Dinamo cultivated a group of players who became local heroes, like David Kipiani, Ramaz Shengelia, and Vitaly Daraselia. By 1978, Dinamo Tbilisi won their second Soviet League title, confirming that they were no longer a surprise package, but one of the true powerhouses of Soviet football. This 1978 title marked the beginning of a golden period for Dinamo, as they had their sights set not only on Soviet success, but also on European competition. It was a period of hope and high expectations, especially as they looked to make an impact on the European stage. The peak of Dinamo Tbilisi's success came in 1981, when they achieved something no other Georgian club had ever done. They won a major European title. Competing in the UEFA Cup Winners Cup, Dinamo Tbilisi stunned European clubs by showcasing their unique attacking style. Along the way, they defeated England's West Ham United and Holland's Feyenoord, capturing the attention of European football fans with their creativity and skill. The final match saw Dinamo face East German side Carl Zeiss Jena. In a hard-fought game, Dinamo Tbilisi emerged victorious with a 2-1 win, securing the UEFA Cup Winners Cup. Vladimir Gutsaev and Vitaly Daraselia scored the crucial goals, forever etching their names into football history. Dinamo Tbilisi's win wasn't just a victory for the team, it was a victory for the entire Georgian people, who saw this triumph as a symbol of their identity and pride. What made Dinamo Tbilisi unique wasn't just their success, it was their style of play. Unlike many Soviet teams, Dinamo embraced an attacking philosophy, emphasizing technical skills, teamwork, and an instinct for the creative. Manager Nodar Akalkatsi was instrumental in fostering this style, encouraging his players to take risks and think creatively on the field. This fluid approach often caught European opponents off guard, as they weren't accustomed to facing a Soviet side with such a free-flowing, unpredictable game. Their iconic 1981 victory solidified Dinamo Tbilisi's reputation across Europe, proving that football excellence could emerge from the Soviet Union's fringes. Unfortunately, Dinamo Tbilisi's golden era was cut short by the political upheaval of the early 1990s. When the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991, Georgia declared its independence, and Dinamo Tbilisi suddenly found themselves in a very different world. Now playing in the newly established Georgian League, Dinamo was cut off from the level of competition they once faced in the Soviet Top League and European tournaments. The challenges of transitioning to independence also impacted the club financially. Without the support structures and funding they had relied on in the Soviet era, Dinamo Tbilisi struggled to keep up with other European clubs, and they could no longer attract or retain the same caliber of players. Although they continued to dominate the Georgian league, their isolation from Europe's elite football marked the end of an era. Despite the changes, Dinamo Tbilisi's legacy remains incredibly powerful. For Georgian fans, Dinamo represents a proud chapter in the nation's football history. The club's European victory in 1981 remains one of Georgia's most cherished sporting achievements, a memory passed down through generations. Today, Dinamo Tbilisi continues to play at Boris Paicadze Dinamo Arena, a stadium that once held over 100,000 fans at its peak. Although they are no longer among Europe's giants, Dinamo Tbilisi remains a vital part of Georgian culture and football identity. Their story is a reminder of how football can unite people and give them hope, even through difficult times. So, while Dinamo Tbilisi may not be a household name in modern European football, their legacy as Soviet champions and European conquerors lives on. For football fans in Georgia and beyond, Dinamo's 1981 triumph is more than just a trophy. It's a story of resilience, pride, and a team that broke boundaries to make history.